So once again, welcome student to my channel, that is Learning with Professor Dr. Amit Das, and today I'm going to cover a very interesting topic, that is the future of HR. Let me tell you, the once familiar fluorescent bars of the office, a sound that used to echo productivity, now seems like a thing of the past. After spending more than 2 decades in corporate and more than a decade in HR portfolio, I have experienced massive changes in how we view work. We have shifted from the rigid hierarchical structures of my early career, where career paths felt like they were laid out for us, to a much more dynamic, unpredictable, and honestly thrilling landscape. The future of work, seen through the eyes of HR, is not just an evolution but a complete revolution, asking us to completely rethink our roles and responsibility. I still remember back in those days, I wrestled with the challenges of traditional employment norms. Annual performance review were often awkward affairs, sometimes relying heavily on subjective evaluations. So, employee benefits were pretty much standards across the board, a one size fits all model that rarely acknowledged individual needs. The focus back then was on different compliance part, making sure that we followed labor laws and maintained a very steady workflow. While this approach provided some stability, it did not have the agility to keep up with the rapid tech advancement that were already changing the game. With the rise of the intent and the gig economy, those rigid structures fell apart. Workers were no longer confined to the office, instead, they were scattered across the globe, collaborating online, pushing for more flexibility, and this shift required a quick rethinking of HR strategy. We transitions from managing a mostly uniform workforce to celebrating a rich mix of talent, each bringing their own diverse needs and expectations. Traditional performance reviews lost their relevance, replaced by more frequent adaptable feedback process linked to project goals and personal contributions. Moreover, the idea of employee loyalty evolved over time. Now, commitment could look different and didn't just mean years spent at the company. Yet, the challenge wasn't just about being adaptable. The rise of remote work brought incredible flexibility but also introduced new hurdles. Keeping a strong company cultures become vital. But it required fresh strategies. We learned to build virtual team cohesion through online tools, enhancing communications and collaborations without face to face interactions. We dove deeper into understanding various communication styles, conflict resolutions in digital spaces, and building solid virtual onboarding programs. For instance, we started water cooler times on platforms like Slack to promote casual interactions and relationship building. We also put significant effort into training on virtual communication, focusing on empathy and active listening in an online context. Ethical considerations became even more pressing now. Data privacy issue, algorithmic bias in hiring, which I discussed in last video in AI and HR, and the risk of employee burnout in these always connected digital environments become key aspects of our strategic planning. The idea of work life balance, once a minor concern, now needs proactive measures. We brought in policies that champion mental wellness, linking employees with assistance programs and supporting flexible work options that let them manage their time and energy wisely. One of the new initiatives was a mandatory digital detox day each month, and prompting employees to unplug from work communications and focus on self care. Although some resisted at first, The long term gains in employee morals and productivity quickly became obvious. Looking ahead, we are now faced with even more exciting yet daunting possibilities. Technology like artificial intelligence, automations, and the metaverse are set to transform our workplaces like we can hardly imagine now. So HR professionals will have to gain a solid grasp of this technology, not just to implement them, but to foresee their ethical and social implications. The focus will shift from simply managing human resources to maximizing human potential, highlighting the importance of ongoing learning, upskilling, and reskilling initiative. We'll have to adapt to a workforce that blends humans with AI, navigating the intricacies of human machines collaborations while ensuring a fair transitions from those who are affected by automation. Our role in HR is shifting from an administrative functions to that of a strategic partner, acting as a vital link between the goals of the organizations and the aspirations of its employees. So we are no longer just custodians of the employee's handbook. We are now architects shaping the future of work, and we are cultivating the organizational culture, encouraging innovations and ensuring that the human aspects is central to every decision made. The bars of fluorescent lights may dim, but the human element, the desire for connections, collaborations, and growth will always be heartbeat of the future workplace. It's both our privilege and our duty in HR to make sure that heartbeat remains strong and vibrant. So, what I can say that if we find ourselves, if we look ourselves at the brink of this fourth industrial revolutions, that the nature of work is about to change dramatically over a period of time. With the rise of new technology, we already discussed AI, robotics, Internet of Things, that is IoT. Our work lives will be transformed, and it will continue to transform. The role of HR in navigating these changes is crucial, right? So let us look at what are the things is going to change. The first is gig economy. The gig economy, what I personally told you during class, that by short-term contracts and freelancing working is growing rapidly. So HR professionals need to adjust to this shift by creating policies and practices that cater to the diverse and dispersed workforce. AI and automations, the landscape of the work is evolving with the AI automations taking over tasks once handled, handled by humans. But again, I'm not going to say that it will completely replace humans. No, no chance at all. So HR must address the consequences of this trend, and such as the need for retraining and redeploying workers while ensuring AI is applied ethically and responsibly. The importance of soft skills with machines stepping into for more technological tasks, skills like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence are gaining more importance. So HR needs to focus on fostering these soft skills within their teams. Remote working, the recent growth of remote work powered by advancement in technology is reshaping our understanding of the physical workplace. So HR must find ways to manage and engage remote employees while cultivating a sense of community and culture in a digital space. Diversity inclusions, so embracing diversity inclusions isn't optional anymore. It's a vital for the success of modern organizations. So HR must take proactive steps to create diverse and inclusive workplaces, addressing unconscious biases and systematic issue head on. Employee well-being, the overall well-being of the employees is becoming a priority for HR, and this encompasses their physical, mental, emotional health, as well as financial stability and work-life balance. The role of data is increasingly crucial in HR, impacting everything from hiring to performance evaluation. So HR professionals now need to hone their abilities to collect, analyze, and interpret data to inform their decisions effectively. The changing nature of the leadership, I would say the old command and control modeling of leadership is fading away slowly. So HR must explore how to develop and support leaders who are collaborative, who are empathetic, and adaptable. The importance of learning and development in a world that constantly evolving, continuous learning and development are paramount important. So HR should create opportunities for employees to grow, acquire the skill or skills necessary to navigate a dynamic environment. In strategy making, HR must be perceived as a strategic partner within the organization, not just as support functions. So, HR professionals should cultivate skills that allow them to contribute to business strategy and demonstrate the impact of HR on organizational success. The impact of demographics and aging workforce, lower birth rates, and rising diversity are all influencing labor markets. So HR needs to manage this demographic shift and develop a workforce that mirrors the diversity of the communities they serve. The importance of employer branding also. So in today's competitive job market, cultivating a strong employer brand is essential. So HR must build a promote an appealing brand to attract retain top talent. In social responsibility, like I'd say that HR should address the social and environmental impact on their organizations, implementing policies that promote sustainability and community responsibility. The impact of globalizations, if you look at the HR perspective, that it is reshaping our work dynamics, making the role of HR in managing a global workforce more complex. So HR need to consider cultural differences, languages barriers, and time zone challenges. If we look at the crisis management, HR must be ready to tackle crises whether they arise from natural disaster or data breaches. So these preparations include developing crisis management strategy and training employees on how to respond effectively in emergencies. So, moreover, I would say that for today's work, when it comes to the flexibility part we are talking about agile HR. So same time we must talk about the flexible working. It's increasingly critical for workforce. So HR needs to think about how to design work arrangement that cater to their employees needs. The role of HR in talent management become very very critical. Retaining the best talent in the organization. So that everything starts from the recruitment to onboarding, performance evaluation, succession planning. The role of HR become very critical. Employee engagement, creating a culture of employee, that make them engage is a vital for organizational success. And as HR should focus on how to motivate and connect employees very effectively. And compliance part also, I would say that compliance with regulations is a significant responsibility for HR and covering the aspects from employment law to health and safety standards. So it's crucial for HR professionals to stay informed about changing regulations and ensure their organizations remain compliant. Uh, I would say that the future of HR. Even having said all this thing, I'd say it's very very unpredictable. One thing is very clear: the role of this HR becoming increasingly vital in shaping the future of work, and HR professionals need to be ready to adapt to change and lead their organization forward. So overall, if you look at whatever points we have discussed and covered, the future of work in HR is influenced by a complex array of trends and challenges that HR professionals must be prepared to confront. Here I would ask them to become more proactive. From the emergence of gig economy to effect of globalization, HR must find ways to manage and engage a diverse workforce while fostering a culture of learning and engagement. So by keeping up these latest trend and practices, HR can help their organizations not just survive but thrive in a very rapidly evolving landscape. So I hope you like this content. I'm sure it will help you much in your exam. Um, See, that is my objective, because I try to venture out by sharing this video with you so that you score well in your exam, right? So don't forget to subscribe this channel. Again, I'm reiterating because it's very important, not only for me. Maybe for me it doesn't make much difference, but for you it's a make a difference, because you will get latest update if you subscribe it. Thank you very much.